This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Rafael Sanchez. It's an alleged child neglect case from Indiana that's caught the world's attention. Tonight, the man accused of abandoning his adopted Ukrainian daughter is telling his side of the story. Michael Barnett and his ex-wife, Kristen, are charged with neglect of a dependent in Lafayette. They're accused of adopting a young girl in 2010 and then abandoning her in 2013. Investigators also say that they changed the girl's age from 8 to 22. Barnett sat in an interview with us just about an hour ago, denying all the allegations. He says he wanted to adopt a special needs child, but he had no idea the girl was not really a child, a young child. He says she became unstable and violent.
My regret is thinking all with my heart back at that time and being none with my mind, none with my head, and not doing my due diligence, not taking a step back and realizing something with that situation is wrong. Something is incorrect here. My regret is not thinking through it and just leaping in and saying, yes, we want to open our home to this person who we will have no information about, and we're going to go on blind faith.
Is this typical?
No, it is not typical. It's unusual because the facts, as we learn them to be, indicate that the subject, the person of concern, was in fact not a minor.
Barnett's lawyers are asking a Tippecanoe County Court judge to dismiss all the charges against him. A hearing on that matter is now set for October the 15th. A former sales manager at a Lafayette car dealership has filed a lawsuit against the company, saying that he was fired in retaliation for complaining about racial discrimination. Jeffrey Turner had worked for Mercedes-Benz since the 1980s. He was the only African-American employee at the Lafayette Mercedes-Benz dealership, where he worked for the Razor Auto Group. He accused the group owner, Mike Razor, of repeatedly using the N-word, including boasting about regularly overcharging African-Americans for vehicles. He says that Razor even used the derogatory term in his face at a meeting in front of several of his colleagues.
I actually let my complete head on the table. I had several of the other officers of the company, sales managers, come to me and pat me on the back and say, you know, JT, it took a lot of courage to do what you did today, but Mr. Razor, he's old and he was raised in a different generation than we are. He didn't mean anything by it.
That lawsuit claims that Turner was fired in 2017 for insubordination after reporting the allegations to Mercedes-Benz North America. Turner is seeking damages and a jury trial. We have reached out to the dealership and Mercedes-Benz, but have not heard back from either of the two. An Indianapolis man who fired shots into a home, killing a 1-year-old girl, has been sentenced to 53 years in prison. Police say early in the morning of March the 29th, 2018, Darren Banks fired multiple shots from an assault-style rifle into a home in the 3500 block of North Whitfield Street. Bullets struck and killed 1-year-old Malaysia Robson and seriously injured a 19-year-old victim. Investigators say the shooting was the result of an ongoing dispute between the families that began on social media. A second man, Brian Palmer, is set to stand trial in this case next month. A fifth Indiana man has died after a plane crash in Michigan last week. The 48-year-old pilot passed away on Sunday. 6 men were on that single-engine plane when it crashed October the 3rd outside a regional airport in Lansing, Michigan. The plane left from Indy South Greenwood Airport earlier that day. The NTSB's preliminary report says the plane was about 126 pounds over the maximum landing weight when it crashed. A key feature of the planned Community Justice Center is starting to come together. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett joined city and neighborhood leaders to offer a first look at the construction of the Assessment and Intervention Center, also known as the AIC. And this facility will be the cornerstone of that Southeast Side complex. The goal, to treat mental health and addiction. Mayor Joe Hogsett says 2 major conclusions of a task force that he convened in 2016 show that 30% of Marion County inmates suffer from a mental health challenge, and nearly 85% suffer from substance abuse or addiction.
We cannot jail illness. We cannot jail addiction. We cannot rely on prisons as healthcare centers. If those approaches worked, this problem that we face today, it would have been solved and disappeared long ago.
The Community Justice Complex is being built on the grounds of the former Citizens Energy Coke site near Prospect and Keystone. The complex will also include a courthouse and a detention center.
Here's something we haven't seen a lot of. You can see some clouds, mid to high level clouds there on the horizon, and we'll add a little character to the setting sun. Another beautiful day. Tomorrow, nice as well. We'll begin to see changes as we get to Friday. Temperature 72 in Indy. There's a cooler spot. Peru and Terre Haute in the upper 60s. The coolest air, temperatures just above the freezing mark in the Dakotas, at least in Bismarck. You go west of there, it gets colder. Temperature 72 in Indy, 6 to 12 inches of snow coming to the northern plains. That's the cold side of the storm. We'll have some thunderstorms Friday on the mild side. Then our temperatures will change dramatically. Between now and 11, partly cloudy, temperature down to 62 by 11 o'clock.
It's a new online benefits portal meant to help veterans and their families with obtaining state benefits. Previously, anyone seeking benefits faced a lengthy and confusing process, including interpreting Indiana code and statutory requirements. The portal from the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs will allow those eligible to sign up for their benefits without picking up the phone. The change is just one of many rolled out by the new IDVA director who took over that embattled agency in January of 2019. You can find the new portal on this story on the RTV6 app. The city of Indianapolis today announced trick-or-treat hours for Halloween. Those hours are from 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, October the 31st. Metro Police will have extra patrols and enforcement in area neighborhoods. Now, police are also asking you to follow your own safety plan. They may include, for example, making sure that kids wear light-colored clothing short enough to prevent tripping. Make sure that they can see well through those face masks. Adults should accompany young children and children with special needs, and only give and accept wrapped or packaged treats. Plus, remember to examine all treats before allowing children to eat them. Have a safe Halloween. Coming up, President Trump's watching events unfold as Turkey attacks Syria. Here at home, people in both parties cast a critical eye on his role in what's happening right now. Plus, a fast food delivery driver not only dropped off some food, he also picked up a few items for himself. As you can imagine, it was all caught on camera. That and much more as the news at 7 continues right here on RTV6.
Morning Indiana. See what's new October 16th. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
In the wake of President Trump's decision to pull American troops out of northeastern Syria, Turkey has launched an attack. The president's decision is drawing critics from both sides of the aisle. This, as Mr. Trump says, it's time for U.S. to end all involvement in these continuous wars. ABC's Trevor Ault has the latest from New York.
Just as military experts in Congress had warned, today Turkey launching an attack, invading northeastern Syria. The air assault coming just 3 days after President Trump announced he was pulling American troops from the region, leaving the Kurds, a longtime U.S. ally in the fight against ISIS, to fend for themselves and civilians fleeing for their safety. This afternoon, the president defending his decision to bring the troops back home.
We are doing the right thing, and I think the country feels that too. Has to be done, otherwise you're never going to do it.
The Kurds have been holding thousands of ISIS fighters captive in the region, and President Trump now says Turkey is responsible for their continued confinement. Senator Lindsey Graham telling Fox News he doesn't think that's going to happen.
They're not going in to fight ISIS. They're going in to kill the Kurds because in their eyes, they're more of a threat to Turkey than ISIS.
The Republican senator, one of several bipartisan critics questioning the president's decision to pull America's troops out of the region.
I know that every military person has told him, don't do this. And this is the pre-9/11 mentality that paved the way for 9/11.
And this evening, Senator Graham tweeting, while the administration refuses to act, he had reached a bipartisan agreement with Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen instituting severe sanctions against Turkey. A concern about this invasion was if the Kurds were fighting back against Turkey, they wouldn't have the resources to keep fighting ISIS. And apparently that's already already happened. A senior U.S. official telling ABC the Kurds have already halted all their operations fighting ISIS. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
A Chicago resident ordered McDonald's via Uber Eats, and the driver delivered the fast food, but he also made fast work out of stealing while in the building. As you can see, a security camera caught it all. Residents say the driver took not one, nope, not two, forget about it, not three, but 4 packages from that lobby, and then he calmly just walked out. He apparently wasn't too concerned with hiding his identity either. The McDonald's recipient still had food receipt with the Uber Eats driver's name on it. Residents have received a letter suggesting that they meet delivery people in the vestibule.
Are they taking responsibility for their own employees and maybe their actions that come of this? Because clearly firing the employee would be step one, but what else aside from that?
It's unclear at this point if Chicago police will investigate this incident as a crime, but as you can see, they have plenty of video to point to somebody. Coming up next, connecting people to the resources they need to make neighborhood improvements. The event, Making It Happen. Details are next. But first, let's check in with Kevin.
And it's Friday that the changes begin. First with the chance for showers and thunderstorms, and then what happens after that for the weekend.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN.
It's like a one-stop shopping for people trying to make their lives better and their neighborhoods a little better as well. Tomorrow, the city of Indianapolis is hosting a resource fair at Riverside Park Center on the city's west side. Several organizations will participate in this fair. And joining us right now in studio is the city's Director of Community Outreach, Cameron Radford. Welcome to the program. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Excited about this because we want to connect people to the people that can help them do better things. So why is this so critical?
Yeah, so the point of this fair is to bring city services into the actual neighborhoods. This is the 6th fair that we've had in the past 2 years, and it brings the offices and other community services around the city into the neighborhood so people don't have to go all the way downtown to get those.
Cameron, as the Working For You station, we get a lot of calls from a lot of folks wondering about this, that, or the other, and then they don't know how to connect with those people. If I come to this fair, what can I expect? What should I bring?
Right, so we'll have over 30 departments and organizations attending the fair. There, people will be able to interact with various city departments, various county agencies, various social service agencies. So if they have a question or a need, instead of having to, in some cases, go all the way across town, or again, go all the way downtown to the city-county building, find parking, go through security, navigate the city-county building, they can just go straight to Riverside Park and it'll be all under one roof.
What should be my expectation? So tomorrow I come, I have a question about weeds or potholes or abandoned trash. You know, you've heard the whole gamut.
Of course.
What should I expect when I speak to that person? Will I get a response in 24 hours, 2 days, a week? What's the expectation?
Right, so different issues require different responses, but yeah, we will have organizations such as the Department of Public Works, Business and Neighborhood Services, who handle those type of issues. People can open a case. We can make sure that the city departments look into those issues and try to get them resolved as quickly as possible.
So here we go. It's a neighborhood resource fair at Riverside Park Center, 2420 East Riverside Drive, from 5:30 to 7:30 tomorrow. Make sure you go. Make sure you talk to people and connect, and of course make the city better, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah,
we'll come back anytime.
Hey, we appreciate it. We'll come back anytime.
Let's check out the forecast right now with Kevin Gregory. Kevin, he could use some sunshine. He's had a long day, right?
Yes, absolutely. Sunshine.
He gets to leave Studio A and go back out into a beautiful evening, and you've heard about dramatically cooler temperatures on the way, but the next 48 hours will be very comfortable, still very mild until we get to Friday night. This is the game changer. Strong cold front. It will change the wind direction and allow much colder air to swing into the state, producing snow out in the Central Plains. Keep our eye on thunderstorm potential in central Indiana afternoon and evening on Friday. Temperature trend, you get the idea. It happens quickly from tomorrow's high in the upper 70s. You see what happens Friday. Temperatures mid-70s and sliding quickly to our coolest day within the 7-day planner, a high temperature of only 55. Temperatures that are in the upper 70s tomorrow, mid-50s. We go from above average temperatures to well below average temperatures after the cold front goes through. Temperatures are comfortable now in the 60s in a few spots from Crawfordsville down to Greencastle, Richmond, and Terre Haute also in the 60s. Our temperature trend for overnight lows, warmer tomorrow morning than we have been. Warmest on Friday morning because of the cloud cover and the strong wind out of the south. The cold front goes through and whammo, temperatures are down into the upper 30s on Saturday. During the day tomorrow, more clouds than we've certainly had recently, but we stay dry. Temperature up to 78. The strong south wind on Friday gusting between 20 and 30 miles per hour. Keep our eye on those thunderstorm potential. Right now, not expecting severe storms. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, temperatures are peaking. They're falling. Between 8 and 9, you see the temperature down to 61, and then you wake up Saturday morning wondering what happened. Temperatures in the 30s during the day Friday. A few early day showers as we get to the evening hours, and then between 7 and 11 more widespread showers and isolated thunderstorms. That rolls to the east and allows for a cold but dry Saturday. Saturday's high temperature just 55 degrees. If you're headed to college football games, definitely wear a coat. Highs at noon kickoff for both IU and Purdue, 2 separate games. Bloomington and West Lafayette at 50 degrees. That is chilly. That's football weather.
I am loving those numbers. Can we take a picture of that and keep it for a while?
Let me get out of the way so you can take a good picture.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right.
I'm going to take a selfie later. Appreciate it, Kevin. Picking up the phone to order something you've seen on TV can be easy, right? But are you really getting what you pay for? Up next, we put some of those items to the test on the News at 7.
Ask your doctor about Taltz.
So TV is full of infomercials selling all kinds of products that look pretty handy, but are they really worth it? Annie Taylor puts them all to the test.
These days, it seems like everybody is selling something. And when you watch TV, you cannot watch it without coming across an infomercial where people are selling things that seem pretty useful. So we decided to buy some and try some.
This is Easy Moves.
Ooh, gives me 10 times my natural strength. Easy Moves claims you can move furniture without the help from a friend. It was definitely easy to put together and understand how to use it. With some arm strength, I got the lever to lift up the legs of the chair to place the pads underneath it. All right, time for the slide. Whoa! For $19.99, we have to give the Easy Mover a thumbs up.
The brand new Pocket Hose Brass Bullet.
Garden hoses can be bulky, heavy, and just annoying, but not the Pocket Hose. It claims it's compact, but yet can unravel to 50 feet when the water's turned on, and then shrinks back up when the water gets turned off. Whoa! When you first pull the hose out of the box, it is not 50 feet like it claims. You have to stretch the hose to get it longer. And when we turn the water off, it really did shrink back up. Maybe not all the way, but it was noticeable. So was it worth the $15.99? I'll give it a thumbs up because it is lightweight, worked well, and sort of shrunk back up.
The Egg Sitter Cushion.
So cushiony, you can sit on an egg without breaking it. The Egg Sitter, essentially a chair cushion. Clearly it's cushiony, but they said you can put an egg on it. Wow, it didn't break, and we tried it 3 times. But we also decided to test it with someone bigger. It didn't break. Okay, that's just crazy. The egg didn't break, and the cushion is super soft. We give it a big thumbs up for $29.99. When you see these items on TV being sold, you don't necessarily think they're going to work. But again, we put all 3 to the test, and we were surprised. They all did exactly what they claimed they could do. I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
You may give this the thumbs up, a pretty unique listing on Airbnb, but this one might top them all. Goodyear is offering up its historic blimp for a few nights later this month. 2 guests will have the chance to book a stay inside the gondola. There's also space for a few friends to join them for a cookout on a makeshift football lounge. The blimp won't actually take off during the stay, but for $150, that's still a pretty good good deal. The listing will go live on Airbnb on October the 15th. And only on RTV6 iconic TV show cast members, they're reuniting in new episodes of your favorite ABC shows. This being called Casts from the Past Week. Coming up tonight at 8 on The Goldbergs, appearances by some of the gang from the 80s sitcom Cheers. Kirstie Alley, Rhea Perlman, John Ratzenberger, and George Wendt join the episode called Food in Jeffy. And then on Single Parents, Adam Brody joins his real-life wife, Leighton Meester, playing her character's ex-boyfriend. Brody and Meester previously co-starred in the movies Life Partner and The Oranges. That's 9:30 tonight right here on ABC.
And a great night. Temperatures will be a little warmer than we have been. We'll be in the 50s when you wake up in the morning.
Kevin, thank you so much. Our next newscast tonight at 11. Have a good evening.